Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Come Mod With Me, which airs every Wednesday, so stay tuned every Wednesday and you'll see another tutorial. Now, if you remember last week, we talked about creating an item, and we created a redstone sword. Now that redstone sword had an image. If you remember what image that was, it was the same image as gunpowder. Now the reason for that is when we chose its image, we chose a number. Okay, it's loaded up, and we created a sword red, and we did this right here, sword red.icon index equals 40. And what that's telling it is the icon, or the image to use, will be in the index of 40. So when you open up your items PNG, which is in the GUI, you'll see a row of items, and this is where if you're familiar with creating texture packs, this is where you edit the textures, the swords and such. What it's doing is it's finding the 40th 16 by 16 cell, and it's taking that icon and it's using it for sword red. But what we're going to do is we're going to give it a custom image. So to do that, we need to do mod loader dot add. Come on. There we go. Add override. And what we're going to do is tell it to override /GUI /items.png. What it's telling it is don't look in items.png for the image anymore. Instead, look in what's the mod called? Tutorial. Look in the tutorial. Oops. /tutorial folder and look for sword red.png, and there's no errors. What that's telling it to do is to find the icon is no longer here, but instead to find it here and use this icon instead of this one, which once we make it will be a red sword. Now if you were to run this, you wouldn't get any errors here because the code is correct. But once you started to run it and we get to the loading screen, come on, there we go, it'll go through Mojang and then you'll get an error. Just wait for it. Here we go. Now the problem is right here it says java.lang.runtime exception. And this is basically the error, image not found. So it looked for tutorial sword red.png and it couldn't find it. That's because we haven't made it yet. So exit out of this and just minimize this for a little bit. What I'm going to do now is show you how to use Gimp. It's an imaging software to help you create different types of images to use for items and blocks. So one moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, and now on to Gimp, which is a free editing software. It's open source as well. If you can code it, you can make changes to it, add special tools for it. And what we're going to do is download it. I'll put a link in the description below, but we're basically going to go to gimp.org /downloads / and you want to download this right here, Gimp 2.8.0, and that'll give you the one I have, one that I'll be showing you how to use. I say it's just as good as Photoshop. I personally use Photoshop because I have it, but this is a free editing software. It takes a little bit to learn, but once you learn it, it's quite easy, and I'll be showing you quite a bit of tools to use in creating different types of textures. So I'm not a texture artist, by the way, but I know enough to texture my own mods. So download it, install it, and then open it up. Takes a while to load. Here we go. Now the first thing you need to do when you open Gimp is click File, New, and there's templates here, but don't worry about the templates. What you need to do is change the width to 16 and the height to 16. If you've ever worked with textures before, texture packs, 16 by 16 is the default texture pack for Minecraft, and it's the default pixelation for items and blocks. You can get higher resolutions, but for your mods, you don't want to do that. You want to make it so that people don't have to install immediately an HD mod to give you HD textures. So just do 16 by 16 to start, and later on you can add a special custom texture pack for it. Anyway, so let's see, we have a few options down here in the advanced options. The important one to note is background color. Click the little down arrow and go to transparency. What that does is it makes the image transparent. It doesn't give it a white background. If you have a white background, your image, and then press OK, your image will actually show the background. So you need to have it blank. The other thing is you can see my cursor here. I have a really big brush. Click on the pencil, come over here and click on that little dot there, which makes it 1 pixel. Click here, and the size you want to make it to, delete all this and make it 1, so it's 1 pixel. See the size? Nice and small. Now the other thing you want to do is go into edit, go into image, configure grid, and you want to make sure this is 1 by 1 pixel. It's default 10 by 10, so put 1 by 1, hit OK, and then go to view, show grid. That'll help you out to show you exactly where your cursor is, and exactly where you can actually place a square, 1 pixel square. So let's make our item. So to change the color, you come over here, you click on it, and you can play around with the different colors. I'm going to try to make some brown. I want a really deep brown. More yellow. Yellow. There we go. Okay. Add a little bit more red in there. There we go. Okay. Here's a good brown. And here's the haft. The haft is the handle for the sword. Now, something to note is your hand will be gripping this section here. Okay? So just remember that your hand is just about right here where you're gripping. If you don't remember that, it won't look very pretty. I've done that before. So let's just make a texture. That doesn't look right. Just Control Z this out. There we go. Alright. Here we go. Make the haft. 2 by 2. Down, down. Down, down. And let's make the sword red. Nice. Ooh, that's a good color. Fire red. And and you can make this whatever you want. I'm just using this because it's a red sword, so making it red. There we go. Didn't want that there because I want to make some depth to this image by adding some orange. And see how easy it is to change between colors. There we go, nice big sword. And let's make the haft a bit of orange on it as well. And fill that bit in there. And let's go back. If you hit Control, it'll change that to the little eyedropper, which changes your color. Oops, Control Z. Let's add a little bit there. Yeah, and let's put this up this way. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now that looks ugly. Anyway, so there's our sword. Quite easy to do. As you can see, textures, I mean, some people could do them very well. I'm not one of those kind of people. But if you can do textures well, it's an easy program to use. Okay, so now what we're going to do is hit File, Export, and it already has .png is what we need. And we're going to export it as sword red. And let's save it to the desktop. Export. Just hit export and we should be done. So let's exit out of this. Close without saving, unless you want to keep that image. You can always, it's a 16 by 16, so don't worry about it. Okay, there it is. Okay, there's our sword. And notice there's no background, so it's clear. When it's held in our hand, we won't have a white halo around the image. Now let's go into our code. Okay, so you can see here the icon index, and we can see it's going to override here. But this is the folder we need to create for our sword red PNG, so that Microsoft Minecraft realizes where it is. So to do that, make a new folder, call it tutorial, drag and drop the sword in, and then we need to open up our Minecraft mods, my first mod, jars, bin, and right click and open with WinRAR, the Minecraft.jar. And all you need to do is go over here, grab and drag and drop tutorial, hit OK. It'll put it in there, and right down here you can see we have tutorial and our sword. And so now all we need to do is open up our Java, hit run, and we should get no error this time. There we go. Open up the single player, open up our world that we were in creative mode, and we should have in our hand, there it is. Cha-cha. Oops, that's right, I'm creative. We'll have our nice little sword here. Whoa, bit of a lag spike. And here's our sword. Now, if we chose not to have a translucent background, you would see white around the entire image. And let's take a look at our inventory. Oop. Let's hit F5. As you can see where my hand is? The haft of the sword, I got a little bit wrong. See how the haft sticks out behind me? You need to move the image up slightly because you can't see the whole sword. So that was my bad. I got it wrong a little bit. I needed to move it up just a couple more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Probably about 3 or 4 more pixels up in order for it to be in the right spot in the hand. But if it doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter if you just want to create your image. But we could fix that quick, actually. So let's get out of here real quick and get back into Gimp. Open this with Gimp. And let's fix the problem of it being too far down here. Hit Control to zoom in. See, set everything back to the way it was. There we go. Okay. Now, what we need to do is change this part up more. So let's... Okay, so I changed the image around a little bit, played around with it, made it look a little cool, I think. And I've also noticed I raised this up slightly. So hopefully it fits in the hand better. I'm just going to export it. Export, replace, export, exit out, close without saving, exit out. And here it is in here, our new sword. Now, what you need to do again is to go into your mod folder, Minecraft mods folder, my first mod, go in jars, bin, right click Minecraft, open with WinRAR, or whatever software you use, and then you want to drag and drop this in again. Hit OK. And now when you go into here and hit play, little play button, it'll change the image for you again. And hopefully this fits in the hand a little bit better than our last one did. Come on, come on. So remember, when you're trying to put it in the hand, you want to check to make sure it actually fits in the hand properly. So let's have a look. F5. That's much better. As you can see, it actually fits in the hand, so you can see the whole blade. The haft doesn't stick all the way out the back. And it's a massively ugly sword that I just made. So hope yours looks better than mine. You can share an image, and I'll post it on, or yeah, send me an image, and I might be able to show some of your creations on the next tutorial to see how your redstone sword has gone. But again, it has all the properties, and now you actually have an image to it. So hopefully that helped you out a bit today with creating some icons for items, and you can create any type of items you want with Gimp. There's no limit to what you can do. Well, 16 by 16, that is. That's the only limit. But this is how you would add it to your game. Just stick it in the tutorial file and plop it back in your Minecraft jar, and there you go. So remember modloader dot add override. You're overriding quotation backslash GUI backslash items dot png, double quote, comma, double quote, where your new file is held, double quote, and then you want to end it with a colon. I think, sorry, a semicolon. I've been calling these colons, I believe, and they're actually a semicolon. Yeah, I've been calling them colons, but they're actually semicolons. So yeah, forget that I said colon. I get mixed up between colon and semicolon. I forget. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a semicolon. So don't forget to put semicolons at the end of your line. And there you go. Now, I'll also teach you how to make a texture for a block and a couple tricks that really make the block look unique and not just flat. Gives it some depth. So we'll do that once we create our first block. But anyway, so this is the end of our texturing an item tutorial. Just remember with swords or any held items to remember where the hand is with your item so it doesn't look really weird or that the item is too far behind you rather than ahead of you. So keep that in your mind while you create items. Anyway, this is XaedBlade signing off. I hope you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and to like this video. It helps me out, lets me know you want to see more, and next time we're going to get more into adding special properties to this new sword that we've created. So we can make it glow, give it a shimmer without actually having it be enchanted. We can give it some special properties like setting mobs on fire without it being enchanted. We can do knockback without it being enchanted. We can do a whole bunch of things. We can actually make a sword when you hit the ground, make flowers, or make a stick that does the same thing as bone meal, like a bone meal stick or a bone stick. We can do all sorts of things like that. So I'm going to teach you some of those tips and tricks about how to give your items special properties. Next one. So in episode 4, I'll be going over special properties for items. Anyway, this is XaedBlade signing off. I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.